Thank you for coming. New Pacific Metals, let's start with this picture at the front. There's a few places left in the world where you can find this kind of mineralization at surface. The holes that you see on the front on this first page and the dump that you see on the left, even that dump we've samples at about 200 to 300 grams per ton silver. So we are in Bolivia. I will be making some forward-looking statements. We'll start with share structure. In July 2017, we had 67 million shares out. We did a placement in July that put 44 million shares in. That was mainly through Silver Corp, put $20 million in the company. Pan American and Silver Corp in November of that year put in another $22 million, $25 million. That took a share count up to 148 million shares. If you can see the financial position and from the placements, all those placements I just talked to Pan American Silver's exercise of its warrants last week, we wound up with about $91 million. Pretty good for a junior exploration company to start. For the $91 million, we spent $40 million on the project. Funds available before drilling were $51 million. We come in, the drill program was 55,000 meters from October 17 to December 18. That was about $213 a meter. That's all in, my salary, everybody's all cash in for drilling per meter. Total cost after G&A during that drill program was $14 million. And the remaining funds at the end of March 2019 was, I can barely see that, hang on. Move this over. It's taped. It was about $37 million. So we have between April of this year and March of next year, we've got a $12 million, 55,000 meter program drill planned. We are going to do camp construction. We're building a camp, which will cost about $2.9 million. Corporate overhead will be 2.7. By the end, but for a year from now, after that 55,000 meter drill program, we'll have almost $20 million left. So we're a junior that has cash and capital in the bank. Major shareholders, as I said, Silver Corp wrote the initial check at $20 million to get a 27% stake. Silver Corp just exercised its warrants for $22 million, or sorry, $15 million US, to give them a 16.2% stake. Ray Feng, the CEO, he wrote a check for $4 million in the beginning of this of the tranches and gave him a 7.6%. So total insider ownership is 51%. Share price right now is about $2.10. Market cap's about $300 million, and that's a 52-week high and low. The only coverage we have is Joe Regor, but we've had three or four analysts on the property, and that should pick up in the next. BMO is there. 8 Capital and PI should be picking up coverage in the next few weeks to months. So leadership. Ray Feng is the CEO and chairman of Silver Corp. He is an entrepreneur, a PhD in geology, but first and foremost, he's an entrepreneur. He doesn't like to run businesses that don't make money. So he's focused on making money for the company, but particularly for shareholders as well. But if the company makes money, shareholders make money. Silver Corp has been in production for 12 years. I think it's been profitable for 9 out of those 12 years. So he focuses on making money. Jack Austin is our chairman. He's a former Canadian senator who helps us on the political side and keeps things moving. McCluskey is the president and CEO of Alanis. Ray went to see him about this idea, and immediately John liked it and put money in himself. Greg Hawkins was the original founder, one of the original founders of New Pacific. He's still on the board. He's the chairman of Yellowhead Mining. David Kong is our audit committee chairman. He works. He's good to have in that role. He's quite seasoned at it. Martin Waffhorn is Pan American's representative on the board. Peter McGaw. I met Peter when we started MAG Silver, and Peter is one of the best geologists in the world. The Thayer Lindsley Award winner, and people obviously will. Recognize him as an asset in any company. So, and I come from a background of silver with MAG Silver. We're in Bolivia. Bolivia is a mining country. They've been mining since 1545 when they found Cerro Rico, and we have 5 other projects in the company. We are 25 kilometers northeast of Potosi, where Cerro Rico resides. We're at 4,000 meters, and it's quite high, but people can work up there. We have indigenous people and ourselves working up there. I can take it. Here is our land position. The blue in the center is 5 square kilometers, and just to the north is 2 square kilometers. We own 100% of that. We just were inked with the government of Bolivia the first mining production contract, which gives us 45 years with the minerals outside of the blue area and inside that red area. It gives them a 4% NSR, and we have to spend $6 million over 5 years. It's a very good. When we found the mineralization here, we realized we needed more land, so we went out and struck a deal with the government. Now that's just going through Parliament right now. We've signed the deal, but they'll make it into law within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Geology and mineralization. At the top, there's a Tarapaya formation, which is red silt sandstone. You'll see in a second why that's important. It actually acts as an impermeable cap for the fluids that came up to mineralize the sandstone. Structural controls are northwesterly direction, dipping at high angles. The mineralized zone, as I said at the top, is you drill about 200 meters below that sandstone, that Tarapaya lay, and you hit the El Puerta, and that is where all of the mineralization takes place in the fractures. This is a conceptual model of the mineralization. As I said, that blue area there is the Tarapaya formation. It acts as an impermeable barrier, so the rocks cracked, the fluids came in. First of all, the sandstone was altered, sericitically altered beneath that blue layer. It made them impermeable to fluids, but the cracks and the fractures is where all the fluids actually emplaced the mineralization. This is the typical minerals that we find in there. It's just a silver play, pure silver. There's nothing else. Freibergite, which is made up of silver, copper, and silver and copper. Miagarite is silver and silver and tin. Polybasite, boronite, aderite, boulandrite, and bismuthnite. But the top one, the biggest type of mineralization, it's mostly mineralized by Freibergite. This is what I was talking about. Sandstone is typically red, but this has been bleached white with fluids that have altered the rock. It's sericitized, but it's those cracks, those black fractures that you see, is where the mineralization was emplaced. Some of the grades are quite high. You can see some at 265, 1,200 grams per ton silver on drill hole 66501. But the average grade is probably about anywhere between 125 to 200 grams per ton, close to surface. The drill program from November 2017 to end of 2018 was 55,000 meters, 195 HQ size holes. 1,600. We covered an area of 1,600 meters strike length by 800 meters wide. The drill holes were drilled at 45 degree dip. We're drilling right now. This is what the jewel box look like. I'll move a little quickly because I'm running out of time. North section is where most of the mineralization is. To the south, there's been some workings in the south, so we had to drill through some workings areas. This is the jewel box. You'll see some drill holes of 135 meters at 240 grams. That's what got the geologists excited, was the widths of these intercepts, 76 meters of 383, 179 meters of 95, and very close to surface. So the economics look good. That's what it looks like from the west. Ray would call this Plateau Mining. The strip ratio is basically less than 1. I better move on. There's just some 50 meter depth. You got 135 meters of 240, 190 meters of 125, and my time is up.
Great.
So I'm sorry about that. Should have been a little longer.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
Together.